In the sun-kissed paradise of Canaan, Tobago, where palm trees sway to the rhythm of the Caribbean breeze, a boy named Dwight Eversley Yorke was born on November 3, 1971. While most children in the neighborhood dreamt of carnival and calypso, Dwight had his heart set on another rhythm, the heartbeat of football. Fast, fearless, and full of flair, Yorke was destined not just to play the game, but to rewrite its rules on the biggest stages of all. This is the remarkable life story of a smiling assassin, a Caribbean king, and a treble-winning legend, Dwight Yorke, player, coach, icon. Long before he graced the turf at Old Trafford or led his country onto the World Cup stage, young Dwight Yorke was that hyperactive boy tearing up the makeshift pitches of Tobago. The youngest of 8 children, Yorke grew up in a football-loving family. His older brother, Clint Yorke, was already making waves as a cricketer for Trinidad and Tobago, but Dwight's feet were made for something else. He adored Tottenham Hotspur and dreamed of donning the white jersey like his heroes. At just 16, his big break came in 1989 when English club Aston Villa toured the Caribbean. A young Yorke was selected to play in a friendly against them. What followed was nothing short of fate. Graham Taylor, then Villa's manager, spotted the wiry teenager's immense talent and invited him to England for a trial. The rest, as they say in football, was top bins. From the tropical heat of Tobago to the cold winds of Birmingham, Yorke adapted quickly. Initially playing as a right winger, he showed speed, trickery, and an unteachable calm in front of goal. It wasn't until the mid-90s that he transitioned to a centre-forward role, an evolution that turned him into one of the Premier League's deadliest predators. By 1996, he had helped Villa win the League Cup, scoring in the final as they dismantled Leeds United 3-0. A hat-trick against Newcastle United followed that same year. Aston Villa had found their diamond, but as Yorke's star rose, so did the interest from England's biggest clubs. However, his Villa exit in 1998 was wrapped in drama. Yorke wanted to move to Manchester United, but manager John Gregory was reluctant. In one infamous moment, Gregory even claimed, "If I had a gun, I would have shot him." Days later, Dwight got his wish, a £12.6 million transfer to the Theatre of Dreams. If there was ever a time Dwight Yorke walked with the gods of football, it was 1998 to 1999. Joining Manchester United under Sir Alex Ferguson, Yorke formed a strike partnership with Andy Cole that wasn't just prolific, it was poetic. The chemistry between them was telepathic. One flick, one pass, one finish. Game after game. Goal after goal. Yorke finished his debut season at United as the Premier League's top scorer with 18 goals. But it wasn't just about numbers. It was about moments. Crucial goals against Inter Milan, Juventus, and Bayern Munich in the Champions League. Dazzling assists in the FA Cup. Title-deciding finishes in the league. And then came immortality, the treble. United clinched the Premier League, FA Cup, and the UEFA Champions League in one historic season. Yorke was at the heart of it all, beaming smile, arms wide, soaking in the roar of the Stretford end. After the heights of 1999, Yorke continued to shine for United, helping them secure more Premier League titles. But by 2002, with new strikers emerging and form fluctuating, his Old Trafford story came to an end. He departed with 65 goals in 152 appearances and the love of millions. Yorke then moved to Blackburn Rovers for £2 million. Reunited with Andy Cole once again, he showed glimpses of brilliance, including a brace at Villa Park and a famous winner against reigning champions Arsenal. He wasn't finished yet. A stint at Birmingham City followed in 2004, but it was his 2005 move to Sydney FC in Australia that truly reignited the fire. As the marquee signing for the newly formed A-League, Yorke brought stardom, goals, and credibility to the competition. As captain, he led Sydney FC to victory in the league's first ever grand final and earned the Joe Marston Medal for Best Player. In 2006, Yorke made a surprise return to England, signing with Sunderland for just £200,000. There, under the management of former teammate Roy Keane, Yorke reinvented himself, this time as a defensive midfielder. Calm, commanding, and experienced, he added steel to Sunderland's spine and helped them earn promotion to the Premier League. Despite nearing the end of his playing days, Yorke showed flashes of the genius that had once conquered Europe. He was even named man of the match in a draw against Arsenal in 2008. His final professional match came in 2009. And just like that, after 20 glorious years, Dwight Yorke hung up his boots. If club football made Yorke a star, then his service to Trinidad and Tobago made him a legend. He debuted for the Soca Warriors in 1989, becoming a mainstay in the national setup. Yorke endured. After retirement, Yorke didn't disappear from the spotlight. He dabbled in media, becoming a pundit for Sky Sports. But his heart remained in football. In 2010, he completed his coaching badges and voiced his desire to manage, particularly at Aston Villa. Though initial managerial opportunities eluded him, he never gave up. In July 2022, his breakthrough finally came when he was appointed manager of Macarthur FC in Australia. In just a few months, Yorke led the club to their first major silverware, the 2022 Australia Cup. Though his tenure was brief, it was impactful. In 2024, the story came full circle. Yorke was named head coach of Trinidad and Tobago, taking charge of the national team he once carried as a player. The baton had been passed, from Dwight Yorke, the striker, to Dwight Yorke, the tactician. A complicated personal life. Off the pitch, Yorke's life was as colourful as his football. He had a high-profile relationship with British model and TV personality Katie Price, which led to the birth of their son, Harvey, in 2002. Harvey was born with Prader-Willi syndrome and is partially blind and autistic. Sadly, Yorke has admitted to playing no role in Harvey's upbringing, a part of his life story that still stirs strong opinions. In 2001, Trinidad and Tobago honoured him by naming a stadium after him, the Dwight Yorke Stadium. He was also awarded the Chiconia Medal, the nation's second highest honour, and was made a sports ambassador. He released his autobiography, Born to Score, in 2009, a candid account of triumphs and missteps, passion and regret. Legacy of a legend. Dwight Yorke's legacy isn't just about the trophies, the goals, or the medals. It's about the journey, from barefoot kickabouts in Tobago to Champions League glory, from being rejected in job interviews to lifting silverware as a coach, from a smiling teenager impressing Graham Taylor to leading a nation on football's grandest stage. In an era before social media hype, Yorke became a household name the hard way, through flair, sweat, and relentless belief. For young Caribbean footballers dreaming of Europe, Yorke is the blueprint. For Manchester United fans, he's forever a treble hero. For Trinidad and Tobago, he's their favourite son. As the sun sets over Tobago, you can almost picture him, Dwight Yorke, walking through the stadium named after him, smiling like he always did. He knows that while the goals have stopped, the legacy lives on. Because some players play the game, but Dwight Yorke, he changed the game, and he was always, forever, born to score. Please subscribe for legendary stories.